Last-minute preparations are underway this weekend for Monday's opening statements in the $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit that Dominion Voting Systems is bringing against Fox News. The suit contends that Fox hosts knew they were airing false claims about the 2020 election, but did it anyway in a pursuit of ratings. Fox claims it is protected by the First Amendment. A jury must also be sworn and seated by Monday morning. The Wilmington, Delaware court was dark today, and by day one of jury selection ended yesterday without a panel officially selected. The openings come just days after the judge sanctioned Fox for handing over some delayed evidence and ordering the media giant to pay for any last-minute depositions Dominion might need to conduct on them. Evidence we're going to get to hear firsthand in a moment. So, what can we expect on Monday? Joining us now to talk about it all is NewsNation contributor Colby Hall and NewsNation legal contributor Jesse Weber. All right, the trial starts on Monday, just days after the judge has sanctioned Fox News for failing to turn over evidence. It was a recording, among it was a recording of the host Maria Bartiromo talking to Rudy Giuliani, the president's lawyer, in which she asks, what's the evidence against Dominion? I mean, I've heard the clip. Why would they not hand that over? What's so damning about that particular clip taken when you see all the other text messages and emails?
Well, assuming they didn't know about it, right? The whole thing is that they know about it. The real significance of that clip in a case where we're trying to determine, did Fox know all this Dominion information was false? In the clip, you hear her not even being sure about it, and Rudy Giuliani is not coming back and saying, oh my goodness, you know, Dominion, of course these machines are fabricated. He was on the fence. So to go on air and say that these machines cannot be trusted, that's the very kind of evidence you need to show that Fox knew that making these claims about Dominion were false.
I would also say that Maria Bartiromo is listed by Fox and Fox Business as a news anchor and not an opinion host. Meaning she is held to the account. It's a key distinction. It's a huge distinction that viewers may not make a big difference.
Explain it.
But anchors are news journalists who are held by traditional standards of journalism. Analysts like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity can kind of not make up what they want, but they can analyze.
They're not analysts, they're hosts.
They're hosts. They're providing their opinion, which is very partisan, very often. So that Maria Bartiromo is a news person who's bound by journalistic standards and was talking to a guest about this very sort of controversial thing and didn't get the answer, but still then afterwards pursued. I mean, she went on the record and said that she had heard from intel sources that Trump actually won the election, which was a baseless claim, and we now know to be purely false.
And I think that just to add to that as well, it's not just, and the judge said, you can't just say this is news reporting, that the president of the United States was saying these were fake election claims. You endorse that. Rupert Murdoch, in a previous deposition, said that these hosts endorsed the idea about these fake election claims. So you can't just say this is news reporting. Well,
and Rupert Murdoch's deposition was widely seen as damaging to Fox News. If he's on the stand on Monday, and they're going to have that deposition transcript and say, here's what you said.
Right.
You can't change your story and all of a sudden say, we didn't endorse it, we didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he basically even admitted they endorsed.
He effectively admitted that they went too far with the story, that it was false, and that many of his hosts sort of endorsed the falsehoods. I'm fascinated to see how he testifies. He's a very powerful, arguably the most powerful person in all of media, who lives in a bubble of yes people. I mean, he didn't get to be the most powerful person without being really sharp. But what's he going to do under cross-examination?
Well, I'm also wondering what those primetime hosts are going to do under cross-examination by trained litigators who know how to make a point and drive it home. I mean,
exactly.
Well, and particularly because in their shows, they control the narrative. They control the questions.
Precisely. They're the ones asking the questions. You're making the point. You're pontificating.
Exactly. And I keep getting the question, how is Fox News going to defend themselves? Well, their hands are tied in a number of ways. The judge said they can't go with a number of different defenses. I think what Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity and Maria Bartiromo are going to say, we thought that these stories, there might be some truth to it. We weren't 100% sure. We did our duty about asking these questions. What we didn't do is 100% know that this was false.
Yeah, but they have those text messages saying they're lying.
I didn't say it's a good defense. I didn't say it's a good defense.
But the point is that, if they say, I put it on the air because I believed it at the time.
Right.
You have text messages from the time saying, from Tucker to Laura saying she's lying. Sydney's lying. I just caught her.
Their best defense is they're effectively pleading guilty of being an irresponsible and bad news network. That's their best defense. Whether or not that
I don't
it's
think
actual
we're going to
malice.
see that defense, Colby.
No, I mean, effectively, they're going to say that we're not necessarily responsible for the things that we said because it's under the guise of analysis and we're covered by the First Amendment. And therefore, this is cases about responsibility of journalism moving forward.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.